Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's a chilly start out there. Skies are clear, but temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. I'll show you a front that comes through tonight, bringing some showers and even colder air.
Plus, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is challenging the claim CNN made about him in a report, saying that he made racist and sexually explicit comments on a porn site. The update we're expecting from him in about an hour.
And the state fair is just 2 days away. We are counting down the hours. The work happening today to ensure all rides are safe before you slide down that massive slide or hop on the gigantic Ferris wheel. And they have a couple there, and there's always one that we can see from our, Dorton Arena camera. Good morning, everyone. It is 8 o'clock. A lot of excitement for the state fair and for fall weather. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, we have the fall weather today. It is chilly out there. You need the jacket. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look over Apex. It's a beautiful day, beautiful sunrise, but yeah, it's sweater weather today.
It really is. Just step outside and you're like, oh, yeah. I'm going to be wearing a jacket pretty much anytime I'm going to be outside today, that's for sure. Beautiful, though. Blue sky here. We will see some increase in our cloud cover later on this afternoon, but it's a pretty morning at 45 right now. The dew point of 40, that just means that it's very dry outside. Checking temperatures, it is 36 in Roxborough. We've had a bunch of 30s near the Virginia line and down here into the Sandhills, but we're beginning to see temperatures creeping up slightly, mostly in the mid-40s right now. And for the most part, we're looking at 15 to 20 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. That's a big jump. Our temperatures will be in the 60s for a good chunk of the day today, and then we'll start to see some showers develop during the evening. I'm also watching a system in the tropics. It has a 60% chance of developing. It looks like it's going to move towards some of the larger islands of the Caribbean. It could develop into a tropical depression or a tropical storm, but it looks like it will stay south. I'll show you the pattern that's evolving. It's likely to keep that to the south coming up. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, a couple of incidents on I-40 eastbound. Let's start in Orange County and show you what's going on. This is an I-40 eastbound near the I-85 connector. You can see the eastbound traffic is beginning to get backed up. So you've got company or colleagues coming in from the westbound side. Just tell them to hop over the Highway 70 as an alternate route. Back here in Wake County this morning, there's a serious crash in the eastbound lanes of I-40. It's the southern loop of the Beltline this morning. You're looking at this is now South Saunders Street in the eastbound lane, but the real trouble spot are in the westbound lane this morning. You're looking at a 3 to 5 minute delay in the westbound lanes. The other trouble spot this morning, US 1 coming in from Wake Forest this morning, always a troubled spot. You're looking in terms of the delays this morning. I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute, but as we isolate the Beltline this morning, you can see the crash there on the southern loop of the Beltline causing a little bit of delay. We're also seeing a little bit of a slowdown on the northern loop of the Beltline. Let's take you outside and show you what we're talking about. This is I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. You can see the bumper traffic in those westbound lanes coming toward us. So again, you're looking at maybe a 5 to 7 minute delay there on the Beltline this morning. The delay times, US 1, just about 5 minutes. Sometimes it gets up there like 15 minutes, so that's not bad at all. Just about a 4 minute delay coming in on those I-87 southbound lanes. 101.5 HD3, you can stay updated on the radio when you're heading out.
Thanks, Ken. In less than an hour, we'll hear from Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson about his investigation into a recent CNN report. The network reported that Robinson made racist and sexually explicit comments on a pornographic website more than a decade ago. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is outside Robinson's office in Raleigh. And Kelsey, this report has complicated his run for governor.
Renee, or rather Michelle, it really has, and Robinson has denied those allegations. And in less than an hour now, he'll speak here at his office, and he plans to update everyone about an investigation about that CNN report. A September CNN report claims Robinson made lewd and racist comments on a porn site, including saying he was, quote, a black Nazi, and wrote posts expressing support for reinstating slavery. Robinson hired a law firm to investigate how they originated and said he would, quote, go after CNN. Robinson is the Republican nominee for governor. He trails behind Democrat Josh Stein by a wide margin in recent polls. Now, so far, Robinson hasn't provided any evidence that would disprove CNN's reporting. We have reached out to CNN. We're still waiting to hear back. You can live stream Robinson's news conference at 9 o'clock this morning on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
This morning, people affected by Helene can get help with insurance claims. The State Department of Insurance is opening a victim assistance center in Spindale, which is in Rutherford County. It will be open from 9 to 4. Tomorrow and Thursday, a second center will open in Buncombe County in the town of Arden.
This morning, the State Board of Elections will give an update about the start of in-person voting, which is just 2 days away. Elections officials in Western North Carolina, they are working to get polling locations up and running. 10 polling places will be open for early voting in Buncombe County, and the update from the Board of Elections is set for 10 o'clock this morning. We'll bring you any new information on our WRAL News at noon.
New this morning, Wolfspeed is getting up to $750 million from the U.S. Department of Commerce for its new facility in Western Chatham County. The funding is coming from the Biden administration through the CHIPS and Science Act. Wolfspeed's new plant in Siler City will manufacture semiconductors for the future energy economy and artificial intelligence boom. Wolfspeed is also getting $750 million from investors and $1 billion from tax refunds. The plant is expected to open in full within the next several months. It will employ up to 1,800 workers.
Both presidential campaigns are making stops in North Carolina this week. Former President Donald Trump's running mate J.D. Vance will be in Wilmington tomorrow, and Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate Tim Walz will be in Durham on Thursday. That's the day in-person early voting begins. If you still are not registered to vote, you can register and cast your ballot on the same day during early voting. It runs through November 2nd.
It's our annual countdown to a wonderful tradition, the North Carolina State Fair, just 2 days away. Today, inspectors are finishing up their work to keep you and your family safe at the fairgrounds. And that's where WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live this morning. And Laura, this is important so that people can have fun and stay safe at the same time.
Later this morning, we will get a first-hand look at the process of checking these rides here behind me. We know inspectors have been on the Midway for days now, evaluating nearly 100 rides. The last time there was a major incident involving a ride at the State Fair was back in 2013. The Vortex was a ride that malfunctioned, injuring 5 people. The Department of Labor has now several guidelines to ensure safety. Amusement rides are inspected each time they are moved and reassembled at different locations across the state. The ride inspectors certify only the rides that meet the manufacturer's specifications 100%. Amusement rides that don't pass the test are not certified and are not allowed to open to the public until the necessary adjustments are made and they pass another inspection. New rides this year will be at the State Fair, including the State Fair Slide, which is a 210 giant foot slide that a lot of people are excited about, and the Candyland Funhouse. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Make sure to come meet some of the WRAL team when you visit the fair. You can find our tent on the northeast side of Dorton Arena facing Restaurant Row. On Thursday, Chris Michaels and Kelly Arthur will be there from 2 to 3 p.m. And then on Friday, Jeff and I will be there from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. We look forward to seeing you all. You can find a full list of appearances, plus ticket information, new foods, rides, and parking info in our State Fair Guide. Just search State Fair on WRAL.com.
Today, the Wake County School Board will vote on more funding for fire safety in schools. This comes after an inspection earlier this summer found several malfunctioning alarms. The board will consider more than $550,000 for fire alarm system replacements at Davis Drive Elementary. It'll also vote on an additional $150,000 for fire watch services. Another $40,000 would be used for fire alarm inspections and repairs. The school board meets at 5:30 this evening.
The candidates for State Superintendent of Public Schools met for a debate last night in Southern Pines. They were asked what their priorities would be with the General Assembly. Republican candidate Michelle Morrow answered first, followed by Democratic candidate Mo Green.
We have been fighting, as I stated before, to get boys out of girls' sports, to focus on academics rather than political and social activism.
So I'll focus on funding issues when the General Assembly comes back into session, so that we can focus on things like teacher compensation.
The Public School Forum of North Carolina sponsored that debate.
It was a tough night to be a Jets fan. Aaron Rodgers' attempt at a late comeback came up short for the New York Jets on Monday Night Football. With 2 minutes left, his long pass was intercepted by Taron Johnson of the Buffalo Bills. You see, Rodgers' receiver fell down, giving the defender the chance to get the interception. The Bills were able to run out the clock and hold on for the win at 23-20.
Like many other buildings in Western North Carolina, one church was hit hard by Helene. How the congregation is leaning on others after it took on feet of flooding.
Plus, from Hungary to Korea and some American Southern comfort, we have a taste of the variety of new foods coming to the State Fair this year. Elizabeth?
And the start of the State Fair looks nice and chilly and quiet, too. We're going to see just a small chance of some showers this evening into early tomorrow morning. I'll walk you through it on Futurecast coming up. 8:13, take a live look at what's happening all across our viewing area. Fayetteville looking beautiful, as well as Apex, Raleigh, Chapel Hills, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. It sure is a pretty start out there this morning, but it's also a chilly start. This morning we dropped down to 43 at RDU, which puts us at the coldest that we've seen so far this season. We have a second front that pushes through tonight. That's going to bring us a few light showers this evening, and that's likely to continue into early tomorrow morning. So there could still be some lingering rain during the morning commute. Behind it, we get a reinforcement shot of colder air. Wait till you see what our high temperature is going to be tomorrow, and some cold mornings too. 37 now in Roxborough, 38 Siler City, but we're starting to see the temperatures creep up a little bit. Most of us are in the low to mid 40s right now. Same thing down south, still some 30s there in Sanford and Robbins, but we're going to see more widespread 30s coming our way soon. Now tomorrow morning it'll be 46. We'll end up with some cloud cover and some showers overnight, so nothing terribly cold. But look at this afternoon high for tomorrow, 59. That is chilly. And then after that, Thursday and Friday morning, both at 39. And there may be some places that see a little patchy frost, especially up near the Virginia line. So we're going to be talking more about definitely the coldest air of the season and who may see frost, especially if the Weather Service issues a frost advisory. If that's a little chilly for you, it's pretty for the weekend. Highs will be back into the low to mid 70s. But with these 30s in our forecast, you may wonder, when do we see our first fall freeze? Not first fall frost, but first freeze. So down to 32. The 21st through the 31st, so coming up in another less than a week, and then October 31st through November 7th in some of our southern counties. So we're getting there. You know, it's almost time for us to see some freezing temperatures. Mid 60s for this afternoon, so feeling pretty comfortable. But like I said, 59 for Wednesday afternoon. That's going to be sweater weather, coat weather. That's the coolest high that we've seen since the 27th of March. We take a look at our rain that's headed our way. Just a few scattered showers. We're already seeing that up to the north. We'll see that developing across our area starting around 5 or 6 o'clock in the north. And then during the evening, we'll see some light rain showers. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., it's still lingering and could be with us up until around 10 or 11 o'clock. Then we'll see some sunshine into the afternoon. And how about the potential for some snowfall? Not here, of course, but up into the mountains. Snowshoe may see an inch. Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain might get a little dusting, and the Smokies could get an inch or so. And at the same time, we're also watching the tropics still. A 60% chance that a system could develop in the Atlantic and move into the Caribbean. Notice how almost all the models are in agreement. That's mainly because of the high that's sitting over us this weekend is going to keep that system down to the south. Over us this weekend, the NC State Fair. So looking forward to that. Of course, the first day of the fair is Thursday. It's going to be chilly at 62, but as I mentioned, over the weekend, we look a little bit warmer. So that'll be a bit more comfortable for the weekend.
All right, what's been happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? We got a couple of incidents on I-40 we want to bring your attention to. Let's start in Orange County. This is an I-40 eastbound near the I-85 connector this morning. You got some folks coming in from the west part, maybe the Triad. Tell them to hop over to the 85 connector and get over on Highway 70. That's a nice alternate route to avoid the slowdowns that we're seeing there in the eastbound lanes of I-40. Back in Wake County this morning, this is a crash on the eastbound lanes near South Saunders Street. We're not seeing any problems, particularly in that area. As we take a live look at I-40 and South Saunders Street, we're not seeing the crash on this particular camera, but you can see that the traffic is flowing nicely in both directions. So not much of a slowdown there in terms of that crash that's on I-40 eastbound. Right now, look at US 1 completely cleared up this morning. Of course, Lewisburg Road still a congested area this morning, so you might want to avoid Lewisburg Road and hop over to Capitol Boulevard as an alternate route. As you isolate the Beltline this morning, we can see the usual congestion we see on the northern loop of the Beltline, and this is what it looks like. I-440 and Capitol Boulevard, those westbound lanes are coming toward us, the bumper-to-bumper traffic. You can listen to us anywhere and stay updated on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. New this morning, South Korea says North Korea has blown up roads connecting the countries. Video shows parts of the inter-Korean roads that are no longer in use being blown up. The road demolitions come as tensions between the two sides are rising. Kim Jong-un says he plans to sever all ties with South Korea. South Korea says it will defend itself if its citizens are threatened.
A historic church near WRAL hit hard by Helene is recovering from its second flood event in 20 years. Joshua Davis reports other churches are pitching in to help.
We're disheartened, but we've been through this before.
20 years ago, a flood devastated Valley Crucis United Methodist Church. The congregation learned from that experience and heavily prepared for Helene.
We moved all the hymnals out, all the Bibles out of the sanctuary. We tied all our tables up out back. We turned the gas off. So we kind of knew it was coming.
And after the storm,
so we had about 2.5 feet of water in the bottom floor.
The church is facing a lengthy repair process, with crews salvaging what they can, pulling up drywall and preparing to pull up the floors, turning to fellow churches for support.
In corporate memory, they have never seen the devastation we have seen with this latest flood. It's absolutely incomprehensible.
Ken Anderson has been touring the damage at multiple churches in the area, working to learn what resources they need.
It's comforting to know that you're not the Lone Ranger, that you don't have to come up with the answers yourself, that others will come in and help you too.
Our folks aren't going to abandon this place. No, they're in for the long haul, and they're going to work what we need to do to get it right.
Covering Wake County now, the city of Apex says people can expect their utility bills to be back to normal in about a month. In July, a hack knocked the town's network offline, and people couldn't pay their bills electronically. The most recent bills reflect the usage for a 3-month period, so they were twice, even 3 times the normal amount. A third-party company will review the town's utility bills in the next few weeks.
A new study shows that an estimated 1 billion birds die during migration in the U.S. every single year. Meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us now with a tool that aims to predict these migratory patterns, Chris, and how you can help prevent even more bird deaths.
Exactly. It all has to do with city lights, right? So this tool actually estimated that 28 million birds were flying south through North Carolina last night. This tool, believe it or not, is called Birdcast, and it's comprised of researchers from Cornell, Colorado State University, and UMass Amherst. And this is what they do. They aim to predict how many birds are going to be flying in these migratory patterns. And because of that cold front that Elizabeth has been tracking all morning, you see roughly 400 million birds will be flying from north to south throughout the U.S. And it kind of makes sense when you look at the overall air pattern that you see that wind between high pressure and low pressure coming in north to south. That's what's bringing us the cold air and allowing those birds overnight to fly into some of the warmer climates, into some of the warmer states. I actually just found this out this morning. The city of Raleigh is participating in a Lights Out initiative between now and November 30th that non-essential lighting goes out from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. That way the birds aren't getting distracted and colliding with buildings. We have a list of things that you can do at your house to help. That's on WRAL.com right now.
Durham Public Schools' new superintendent wants to hear from you about your experience with the district. Anthony Lewis is holding a meeting tonight to speak to families, students, staff, and community members. Tonight's meeting will be at 6 at Riverside High School.
Well, get your appetite ready. We are just 2 days away from the start of the North Carolina State Fair, and this year there are 72 new food options for you to try.
Savory corn filled up with sweet inside.
I brought Hungarian culture to the people of North Carolina through these pastries.
This is Korean barbecue kimchi nachos.
It's called a cowboy bite. Brisket mac and cheese rolled up and rolled in panko and deep fried.
There is no such thing as a state fair diet plan. It's for enjoyment.
Nope, no diet here. You can check out more new food options this year on our website at WRAL.com.
People in our area are getting a once-in-a-lifetime glimpse at a newly discovered comet. An astronaut captured this photo from the International Space Station. The comet is now making its closest approach to Earth, and people saw it in North Carolina. This was taken over Jordan Lake last night. Scientists say you can look in the western sky just after sunset to see it over the next few days. The comet won't be visible from Earth again for another 80,000 years, so make the most of this opportunity. Not only are there dozens of new food items to try at the state fair, but new rides as well. The work inspectors are doing today to ensure you and your family stay safe.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 8:26. I'm Renee Chu. It looks fantastic out there, and it feels nice if you have a coat or a jacket. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us another beautiful view.
Yeah, this is kind of weather we have to kind of get used to, but we should get used to it this week because it's going to be with us for a while. Beautiful here at North Hills, just gorgeous sunshine. Our temperatures are still mainly in the low to mid 40s. We jumped to 48 in Fayetteville and Goldsboro, but 40 in South Hill, 41 in Lewisburg, 43 right now in Southern Pines. After seeing a bunch of towns in the 30s this morning, mid 60s for highs this afternoon. We'll see increasing clouds, some showers this evening into early tomorrow morning. Ken?
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we're seeing some congestion building in the usual spots on I-885 north and south in Durham this morning, the Beltline as well, US 1 north this morning. And speaking of delayed times, let's look at what we're talking about here. We're looking at a delayed times coming in just 4 minutes coming in from Wake Forest and just about 5 minutes on US 1 north, which is a good thing. I talked about the delays heading into Durham this morning. You're looking at an 11-minute delay on I-885 this morning. Of course, I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Ken, thank you. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson plans to give an update this morning on his investigation into a recent CNN report. The report says he made racist and lewd comments on a pornographic website more than a decade ago. Robinson has denied allegations made in the report. He hired a law firm to investigate how they originated. The North Carolina State Fair is only 2 days away, and inspectors are checking the rides today to make sure that you and your family are safe. This year, inspectors are on the Midway evaluating close to 100 rides. Next on Fox 50, a huge economic boost to Western Chatham County thanks to a $750 million grant. And up next on Today, Stanley Tucci is there.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a chilly start out there. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s, but I'll show you a cold front that comes through tonight to deliver even colder air.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson is investigating the report CNN published about him, saying he made racist and sexually explicit comments on a porn forum. The update we're expecting from him in about 30 minutes.
And $750 million is going toward a new chip manufacturing plant in Chatham County. The economic boost Wolfspeed is expected to bring to the area after securing all of that funding, all of that money. We'll have that and so much more coming up for you on your Tuesday. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Renee Chu, and it is just a gorgeous Tuesday. We love seeing the sunrise, and now it's nothing but sunshine out there. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
It's beautiful out there. We'll take a live look at Apex, and you can see down Salem Street, lots of sunshine. If there were any people walking up and down, my guess is that they would have a jacket on because it is chilly out there, 45 degrees. Our dew point is 40. That's just a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. But we had a cold start this morning, some 30s on the map. We still have 37 in Roxborough, but we're starting to very, very slowly warm up a little bit. It's going to be a cool morning. Even now, it's anywhere from around 15 to 20 degrees colder than it was this time yesterday. So that's a big shock to the system. Mid 60s for highs this afternoon. We'll see increasing clouds, a chance of some showers this evening, and then overnight as our next front comes through. And that front will help to deliver some even colder air for the next couple of days. And the tropical outlook, there's a 60% chance that this system will develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm. But the models have it all down south in the Caribbean and not near us in the United States. I'll show you why and that changing pattern coming up. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, would bring your attention to a couple of things that's happening this morning. A vehicle fire on Pool Road in the eastbound lane near Bethlehem Road. You can see it's causing quite a bit of congestion in that area. That's also another incident that happens not far from that, another serious crash on Smithfield Road, southbound lane near Pool Road. You can see the huge backups it's causing on Pool Road this morning. Listen, I would get up to I-87 as an alternate route and avoid Pool Road altogether this morning. So if you're getting ready to head out, I-87 is your best bet this morning. Isolating the Beltline, we can see the usual congestion building on the southern loop of the Beltline around Lake Wheeler Road all the way to Jones Franklin Road, and then you go into those eastbound lanes there on 440 in the Cary area. We'll keep an eye on that for you. The northern loop of the Beltline, you're looking at a 3 to 5 minute delay this morning if you're getting ready to head out. Look at this. It's I-440 and Capitol Boulevard. They've switched around the cameras a little bit. These are the traffic lights there, so not really a situation that we're working to figure out exactly what's going on. We'll let you know as soon as we find out what's going on there, that intersection of Capitol Boulevard and the Beltline this morning. If you're getting ready to head out, stay updated. Listen to us on the radio at 101.5 HD3. You also have a couple of other options, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
In less than half an hour, we will hear from Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson about his investigation into a CNN report about him. The network reported Robinson made racist and sexually explicit comments on a porn website more than a decade ago. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside Robinson's office in Raleigh. Kelsey, these allegations are complicating his run for governor.
Renee, they really are, and Robinson has denied all of these allegations this morning. He's trailing behind a Democratic candidate, Josh Stein, in the governor's race. And really in less than 30 minutes here, you may be able to see some of that set up here behind me. Mark Robinson will speak here at his office, and he's giving everyone an update about the investigation that he's putting forth about those claims. September CNN report claims Robinson made lewd and racist comments on a porn site, including saying he was, quote, a black Nazi, and wrote posts expressing support for reinstating slavery. Robinson hired a law firm to investigate how they originated and said he would, quote, go after CNN.
We're going to take them to task, folks. This is pure out election interference is what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Now, so far, Robinson has not provided any evidence that would disprove CNN's reporting. We have reached out to CNN. We're still waiting to hear back from them, but you can live stream Robinson's news conference at 9 o'clock on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And this morning, we expect an update from emergency officials in western North Carolina on the recovery efforts happening after Helene. Governor Roy Cooper will be joined by officials from FEMA, the North Carolina National Guard, and the DOT. That update is expected at 10:30 this morning, so make sure to watch WRAL at noon for that new information. After that, Cooper plans to visit a disaster recovery center in Asheville to meet with volunteers. He'll then travel to a community care station in Swannanoa that's providing hot meals and community members and emergency responders there.
FEMA is back to normal operations in western North Carolina after someone threatened its workers over the weekend. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office arrested 44-year-old William Parsons. They say he threatened workers in the Lake Lure and Chimney Rock areas. FEMA inspectors had to cancel some appointments, but say the threats did not limit search and rescue operations.
Elections officials in western North Carolina are working really hard to get polling locations up and running. 10 polling places will be open for early voting in Buncombe County. More than 14,000 people have requested absentee ballots, and nearly 1,500 people have already returned their ballots. Mail-in ballots can be requested until October 29th. And we have a voter's guide for you on our website. It has more information about same-day registration, all the important dates you need to know, as well as information on voter ID and how to vote by mail. Go to WRAL.com and search Election 2024.
Jeff, over to the WRAL Live Center. It's been almost a year since Army reservist Robert Card started shooting in Lewiston, Maine, committing the worst mass shooting in that state. And now, just this morning, in the last couple hours, we're getting indications that lawyers representing the survivors of those families of the people killed said they've begun the process of suing the Army for failing to stop that tragedy. They say the Army was aware of Card's mental health status at the time, left him paranoid, delusional, and expressing homicidal thoughts. He even had a hit list and made those threats in the months before he killed 18 people at a bowling alley and a bar on October 25th. There was also an independent commission appointed by Maine's governor that concluded there were ample opportunities to intervene by both civilian law enforcement and the Army. The Army has 6 months to respond.
Jeff, thank you. This morning, about 200,000 homes in Florida are still without power after Hurricane Milton. That's according to the utility tracker PowerOutage.us. Analysts estimate Florida communities suffered more than $100 billion of damage in the storm. That's leaving a lot of people with the tough decision of whether to wait for FEMA grants or pay for repairs now. Lines for gas in Florida are starting to shorten. According to Gas Buddy, the percentage of stations in the state without gas is now 17%. Days ago, it was twice that. Still, though, about half of stations in the Tampa Bay region are without gas.
Well, gates to the State Fair will open in just 2 days. And before that can happen, inspectors are finishing up their work to make sure those rides at the State Fairgrounds are safe. WRAL's Laura Levine explains these inspections will help keep families safe while they're having fun on those rides.
Later this morning, we will get a first-hand look at the process of checking these rides here behind me. We know inspectors have been on the Midway for days now, evaluating nearly 100 rides. The last time there was a major incident involving a ride at the State Fair was back in 2013. The Vortex was a ride that malfunctioned, injuring 5 people. The Department of Labor has now several guidelines to ensure safety. Amusement rides are inspected each time they are moved and reassembled at different locations across the state. The ride inspectors certify only the rides that meet the manufacturer's specifications 100%. Amusement rides that don't pass the test are not certified and are not allowed to open to the public until the necessary adjustments are made and they pass another inspection. New rides this year will be at the State Fair, including the State Fair Slide, which is a 210 giant foot slide that a lot of people are excited about, and the Candyland Funhouse. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
New this morning, Wolfspeed is getting up to $750 million from the U.S. Department of Commerce for its new facility in western Chatham County. The funding is coming from the Biden administration through the CHIPS and Science Act. Wolfspeed's new plant in Siler City will manufacture semiconductors for the future energy economy and AI boom. Wolfspeed is also getting $750 million from investors and $1 billion from tax refunds. The plant is expected to open in full within the next several months. It will employ up to 1,800 workers.
Covering Wake County today, the county school board will talk about the feedback they've gotten to their student reassignment plan for next school year. A few thousand students will be affected by the opening of 4 new schools in Apex and Fuquay-Varina. The district has held several open houses in recent weeks for people to give their thoughts about the plans. The school board will talk about that feedback at a work session today. That starts at 3:30, and they plan to review and vote on a final draft of the plan November 26th. And parents were surprised to find out a registered sex offender showed up at an elementary trunk-or-treat event. The quick action one deputy took when he realized who that man was.
You're taking a live look at White Lake on this cool morning. The cold front has moved through the area. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner walks us through when we can expect the coldest air in nearly 6 months. Welcome back. It is 8:44, and from this view of the American Tobacco campus, look at that sky. You don't really see a cloud there, and lots of sunshine out there. It's not going to warm up very much. It'll stay on the cool side, which it is fall. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with tracking all these temperatures.
Yeah, we saw a cold front come through yesterday and ushered in that chilly morning. The coolest morning since the end of April we saw this morning. Cooler this afternoon, too, mid-60s, a little bit breezy, too. And then we're going to see another front right behind it come through tonight with a chance of some showers. That could still be with us early tomorrow. And then it's going to be a really cool day tomorrow. I mean, even the afternoon Highs are going to be chilly. The coldest morning since late March coming up. We take a live look at Apex, looking beautiful. There have been a few people out and about, not as many as usual. It's pretty chilly out there. Right now it is 45 degrees. Our dew point is 40, and that's just a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. We're going to be climbing up to around 60 by lunchtime, and we'll see mid-60s for highs. Looking at 40s now, we started with a slew of 30s this morning in some spots, and now most of us are in the low to mid-40s in the north, and we're looking at maybe mid to upper 40s in some places down south right now. We do have a frost advisory and a freeze warning, or a freeze watch, I should say, in effect for parts of the mountains, but you look how that spreads up to our north and west. Well, this is where our air is coming from for tomorrow and also for, say, Wednesday night and Thursday night. Into Thursday and Friday morning, we're really going to be looking at some chilly temperatures. Our normal low is 51, so we are way below that headed forward. Of course, we had a clear sky overnight last night, and we got a lot of great pictures from folks who saw Comet A3. If you'd like to see it as well, it's probably going to be too cloudy tonight, but we have plenty of time all the way through about the 24th or 25th of the month. You should see it, and each night it may be a little higher in the sky, but look toward the western sky about an hour past sunset, and you should be able to see it. It's a little bit like the auroras, though. It's so many cool aurora pictures, but a lot of those taken with your phone. You couldn't really see it with your just naked eye, and that may be the case here with this as well. So from Ramsar, Austin Smith sent us that great photo. We love your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and send us what's happening near you. What's happening tonight is all the rain that's up to our north is going to be moving southward. As a matter of fact, I should have paused on that just for a second. You see the pinks that started to show up? There's actually a little bit of snow falling in the mountains of West Virginia right now. Now, we're not going to see any snow here, but we will see a cool night tonight with showers. We're talking about mid-40s with showers developing this evening and with us tomorrow morning, too. So we may start off with 45 degrees and some showers tomorrow morning. That does not sound very pleasant, but in the afternoon, we'll see some sunshine. But it stays chilly. Tomorrow, a high of 59 and then some 30s. And it's possible that we would see some patchy frost in some of our northern counties. After that, we're a little bit warmer, which will feel nice if you're headed to the state fair the first weekend.
Elizabeth, thanks. Both presidential candidates are doing their last tours of battleground states with Election Day just 3 weeks away. The latest NBC News poll shows the race is a dead heat among registered voters. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to Detroit for a radio town hall. Last night, she held a rally in Erie, Pennsylvania. The VP is ramping up her attacks on former President Donald Trump, warning that a second Trump term would be dangerous.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged. And he is out for unchecked power. That's what he's looking for.
Harris will be back in Pennsylvania tomorrow night for an interview with Fox News. She will sit down for an interview with Bret Baier tomorrow night at 6. This will be Harris's first formal interview ever on Fox News.
Meanwhile, former President Trump will be in Atlanta, Georgia tonight for a rally. He was also in Pennsylvania yesterday for a town hall near Philadelphia. And while taking questions from the audience, Trump vowed to help lower interest rates and increase energy production.
We're going to use our beautiful liquid gold. And when we get everything else down, houses, everything's going to come. Give me a little while. Let me get in. 1 year from January 20th, we will have your energy prices cut in half all over the country.
And Trump will hold another rally in Georgia tomorrow, this time in Duluth, a city close to Atlanta. He'll then head to New York City at the end of the week for a rally there.
A registered sex offender is in jail after he was arrested during a Halloween event at a local elementary school. 62-year-old Mark Knight was arrested at a trunk or treat at Bennett Elementary in Chatham County last week. Knight is prohibited from stepping onto a school campus. According to the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, a deputy at the event recognized Knight. And after verifying his status as a registered sex offender, the deputy took Knight into custody. Parents we talked to say they are shocked but grateful for the deputy.
Scary initially. Of course, you know, anytime there's a child predator around kids, but very thankful for our community and that the issue was solved and taken care of swiftly, just so that, you know, there is a safeness here in a tight community.
Knight was released on bond. He's due in court October 28th. The sheriff's office says it will continue to ensure events like these remain safe spaces for students and families.
A North Carolina man is one of 6 people who filed new lawsuits accusing music mogul Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault. These new lawsuits were filed anonymously in federal court by 4 men and 2 women. The North Carolina man claims that Combs fondled him in 1998 when he was 16 at one of the rapper's famous parties in the Hamptons. Combs has pleaded not guilty to sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and prostitution-related charges. He is being held at a Brooklyn detention center with a trial scheduled for May. And we have a massive meat recall to tell you about. It includes ready-to-eat items sold at Walmart, Trader Joe's, Aldi, and other national supermarket chains. Nearly 10 million pounds of meat and chicken from Bruce Pack is being recalled because listeria was found in one of the company's chicken products. The products are used as ingredients by other companies in items like salads, wraps, and sandwiches. You can find the complete list of items at the Agriculture Department's food safety website. That's fsis.usda.gov.
Well, this is some highly anticipated pandemonium on the way from China to the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. These 2 pandas, gorgeous, aren't they? Bao Li on the left, 3-year-old boy. Qing Bao on the right, a 3-year-old girl. They have boarded up and are on their way. I want to show you this because this is the first video we have of them in their travel gear on the plane. On the way to Washington. The National Zoo has been super secret about this in Washington, D.C. They closed today. Didn't give a reason, just closed all day. So these bears, they're loaded into crates on a FedEx plane. They had a little layover in Anchorage. They're being fed some great food, some corn muffins and all kinds of health food and also medicines that they need for their trip. And this is great news for the zoo. They've been without this panda exchange for almost a year now. They will go through an extended quarantine and acclimation period, and then they will be introduced to the public at the zoo in due time.
Pandemonium. I love it. Thanks, Jeff. Well, Hugh Jackman will tackle a catalog of Neil Diamond in a new musical drama alongside Kate Hudson, and a docuseries covering the rise and fall of a Grey's Anatomy writer premieres today. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
A Walk of Famer in his own right, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman has something to sing about. He's tackling the catalog of fellow Hollywood Walk of Famer Neil Diamond. Jackman and Kate Hudson are set to star in Song Sung Blue for Focus Features. They'll play down-on-their-luck musicians who form a Neil Diamond tribute band. It's based on a 2008 documentary of the same name.
She fought cancer. She went public about sexual assault. She lost a friend in the Tree of Life shooting.
She would tell me, like, maybe I'm suffering this way so that I can write this way, too.
Except none of it was true. The docuseries Anatomy of Lies charts the rise and fall of Grey's Anatomy writer Elizabeth Finch, who became famous, then infamous, for writing episodes of the medical drama based on the false narrative of her life. Anatomy of Lies premieres Tuesday on Peacock.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. I want to play a game.
And just in time for Halloween, Saw is back on the big screen. The unrated version of the 2004 killer classic returns to theaters on Sunday, October 20th and Wednesday, October 23rd. You'll find all the chilling details at fathomevents.com if you dare. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Those are scary, scary movies. All right, before we go to break, here are your winning lottery numbers. We will get another check on your weather and your traffic. That's coming up next.